Welcome back to another exciting day in mathematics. Whoop, whoop. How's everybody doing? Good? Yes, Mr. Q. All right, warm up 127 is on the screen. Let's get started, please. All right, so warm up 127. You'll be doing that on your own. Just for the sake of time, I want to get to the study guide, and I want to get started with the study guide because we have a lot to cover. So, copy the agenda, please. Warm up 127, semester 2 concepts and skills. Today we're going to start on our study guide. Hopefully we get through the first, I want to say 7 or 8 problems. And tonight, basically whatever we go over here in class, this is what I want you to do. Get home, open your study guide, look at the problem starting with number 1. Do that one again by yourself on a blank sheet of paper. You don't have to copy it. Just go through the problem again by yourself and see if you get the same answer that we got here in class. If you didn't, then go to the video lesson this afternoon that I'm going to upload. Watch the video again, and then once again, go through the problem once again till you get it right. We're going to try and get these done throughout the week. Hopefully you will finish on Wednesday, if not Thursday. So, warm up 127, semester 2 concepts and skills, home plate for tonight's study guide. Also, I left you guys some practice problems from the logs, but that's fine. Keep those for right now. Copy this code, please. 4HJF8. 4HJF8. When you log in there, the study guide should come up right away. So you have it in there as well. All right. So once again, we're going over the entire study guide. Our objective for today: I can master all semester 2 concepts and skills. I can master all semester 2 concepts and skills. All right. I'll give you guys time to set up some paper to take notes. Also, if you need to have your study guide in front of you, do that as well. All right, here we go. So, 2024-25 Algebra 2 Semester 2 Final Study Guide. Yay! Multiple choice. Number 1, it says write the standard equation of a circle with center -3, -4, and radius 6. So, for that one, first things first, we need to know our standard form equation that looks like this. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So for number 1, as soon as you get there, you write your standard form equation, identify the center, underline it, and we know that once you do that, you label it h and k. H and k. So once we know which one is which, h is -3, so underneath your formula here, you write -3 for h, -4 for k. And of course, we know that the radius is 6, so the letter r is 6. From there, you bring everything else down, parentheses, x, look up. This is where some of you make a mistake. Make sure you bring down this negative from our formula. Squared plus, parentheses, y, bring down the other negative, squared equals, and then bring down the squared over here for the radius. From there, we just simplify. X, negative times the negative is a +3 squared, plus y, negative times the negative is a +4 squared, equals 6 squared is 36. Slow down. Some of you need to slow down because some of you you see a 6, and right away you go and answer your question by looking at the 6's. But remember, we need to square the 6 at the end. So the correct answer for this one looks like it's letter C. Letter C. Once again, tonight when you get home, again, look at the problem, cover the answers, and go through the process one more time by yourself. Let's go to number 2. Number 2, find the center of and radius of the circle. So let me make some space for this one. So I'm going to get the equation again, x squared plus y squared plus 2x minus 10y plus 10 equal to 0. For this one, we need to use the completing the square method. So what do I do next? Divide by the leading coefficient, which is an invisible 1, yes? So we end up with x squared plus y squared plus 2x minus 10y plus 10 equal to 0. From there, we need to get rid of the 10 that does not have a variable. So we subtract 10 from each side. So on the right side, we have negative 10. On the left side, we group things together, all the x's together in a parentheses. X squared plus 2x, leave an empty space, plus, open another parenthesis, so now the y together. Y squared minus 10y, and empty space. So why do we need the empty space? Because we need to complete the square. So what completes the square here? Turn to your neighbor, remind them, what do I need to add here? What do I add here? Yeah, 2 over 2 squared. So we do that to both sides, 2 over 2 squared. And what do we add here to the y parentheses? We add negative 10 divided by 2 squared. Negative 10 divided by 2 squared. So we end up with, parentheses, x squared plus 2x plus 1, because 2 divided by 2 is 1, 1 squared is 1, plus y squared minus 10y plus negative 10 divided by 2 is negative 5. Negative 5 times negative 5 is 25. Equals to negative 10 plus 1 plus 25. Are we doing good? Next, we combine everything on the right side. 25 plus 1 is 26 minus 10. That leaves us with 16. On the left side, let's factor this. Square root of the first, square root of the last, sine of the middle, squared. Do the same thing for the second parentheses. Square root of the first, square root of the last, sine of the middle, it's a negative, squared. So, now that we have it in standard form, let's see if it is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So we need a center. A center. Center is h and k, is that correct? H and k. So what is h here, guys? Negative 1, is that correct? Negative 1, because this should be a negative. And what is k? 5, because it's straight right there. Here it is. Also, radius. How do we find the radius? Well, we take this number and take the what? Square root. So the radius is 4. Answer, letter D. Once again, tonight, you're going to go over this one by yourself one more time. You're going to write the equation, go through the process, see if you are able to do the entire process by yourself. If not, go watch the video and do it again. There's plenty of time. The final is not until next week, Monday. Plenty of time. All right. Number 3. Number 3 and 4 are on parabolas. Little side note, look up please. If you want a side note for yourself, we have 2 types. We have vertical and we have horizontal. What, Mr. Q? Parabolas. Vertical looks like this, and it has a directrix down here like so. Directrix. And the directrix always starts, for the vertical, starts with y equal to something. And the formula for this one is x squared equals 4py. Horizontal always goes sideways, like so. And the directrix is up and down, which means if it's up and down, that means the directrix is x equals to something. And the formula for this kind of parabola is y squared equals 4px. All right. So, good review. Let's go to numbers 3 and 4. Here we go. Numbers 3 and 4. Oh. Three and 4. All right. Number 3, it says, write the equation in standard form for the parabola with focus 0, 4 and directrix y equals. Turn to your neighbor, let them know what formula comes to mind when you see y equals for the directrix. Formula is what? X squared equals 4py. That is correct. Next, x squared equals 4, and we need a value for p. What is that value for p? Well, we use the value here in the focus, other than 0. So what value am I going to use? 4. So, if we simplify, we end up with x squared equals 16p. So, look at all the equations. Now, which one has the square of the x? Is that correct? So it has to be one of these two, not these, because the y's have the squared. But it doesn't look like that, Mr. Q. Well, then let's solve for... Oh, sorry. This is y. We substituted for p. So 4 times 4 is 16, 16y. Let's leave y by itself, so like that we can have an equation that looks like this. So, to get rid of the 16 is multiplying, so what do? We divide by 16 both sides. So we end up with, I'm going to go over here, x squared over 16 equals y. Look at it. Does it have any negatives? Tell your neighbor, does it have any negatives here? No? Well, look at the possible answers. Tell your neighbor, what would be our answer for that one? Either C or D. Which one, Mario? C? C is correct because D has a negative right here. It cannot be D. Now, if you want to see it look like that, so then all you have to do, look up, is move the x squared to the side. So x squared to the side. And then on top we put a 1 and all that equal to y, and that's how we get it to look like that. Once again, this one has a negative, so it cannot be the negative. All right, so look up. So what do we need in order for us to write our equation? We need a focus and directrix. But look at this one. They do not give us a focus. So when you get to number 4, do this. Get a coordinate plane. The vertex is at 0, 0. The directrix is y equals negative 6. And we know that parabola always opens away from the directrix, yes? Which means it opens towards the focus. So, tell your neighbor the coordinate for the focus. What would be that coordinate? See if you remember. Because remember, what is the definition for parabolas? It's equidistant. Is that correct? So, if the directrix is at negative 6 from 0, what would be the focus? Mario, pass him one. Mariah, where are we at in the focus? Yes, that's 6. That is correct. So the focus is at 0, 6. So, now that we have our focus, we write our equation. X squared equals 4py. Why again x squared? Because the directrix starts at what? Y equals negative 6. So, x squared equals 4py instead of p. We're going to use the value on the focus. What is our value for the focus? That value is 6. So we end up with x squared equals 24y. Once again, which variable has a square? The x, is that correct? So that means it cannot be b and it cannot be d. It has to be between a and c. So that means we need to leave the y by itself. So that means I need to divide by 24 both sides. I end up with x squared divided by 24 equals y. Now, if I wanted to leave it like that, is there a negative here in this equation? No, so it cannot be c because c has a negative. It cannot be c. The answer would be a. And once again, if you want it to look like that, just move the x squared to the right, put a 1 on top, equal to y. That's number 4. All right, let's move on. Number 5. Solve a system formed by the equations. All right, when you get to this one, do this. Open up a bracket, and you're going to write your 2 equations, one on top of the other. So it can trigger your noodle with the work that we did in the past. Okay? So, there's different methods that we can use to solve this. We can use elimination, we can use graphing, but I'm going to use the method of substitution. Substitution. Why, Mr. Q? Because it's easier. Look up. First equation, it says that y is equal to 4x plus 4. Is that correct? So if we substitute that into the second equation, instead of writing y, what do I write here, everyone? Yeah, the 4x plus 4. So I'm going to write 4x plus 4 equals to x squared plus 7x plus 6. Next, we need this equation equal to 0. So leave the the quadratic on the right side, we need to get rid of this blue stuff. How do we get rid of it? Well, minus 4x minus 4. Minus 4x minus 4 to both sides. We're left with 0 equals x squared plus 3x plus 2. All right? Your brain wants to do something with that one. Tell your neighbor what your brain wants to do with that. What does your brain want to do, Caesar? Yeah, Power Rangers. 2 and 3. What? Two numbers multiply, give me 2. When you add them, give us 3. 2 and 1. So my factors are x plus 2, x plus 1, and all that equal to 0. Next, set each one of these equal to 0. X plus 2 equal to 0. X plus 1 equal to 0. Let's solve. Minus 2 minus 2. X equals negative 2. Minus 1 minus 1. X equals negative 1. Now look up. Look at the possible answers. According to what we got, x's are what? Negative 2 and negative 1. Let's look at this one. What is x here? 2. And what is this one? Negative 5. So that is not the answer. How about B? 1 and 2. No, these are negatives. Well, nope. How about these? Negative 1, yes. Negative 6, no. So it's not C. So it could be D. Just to double check, look up. I'm going to take this small equation and write it twice. Y equals 4x plus 4. Y equals 4x plus 4. Y equals 4 parentheses plus 4. Y equals 4 parentheses plus 4. What am I substituting in there? The first one is negative 2. So that is y equals negative 8 plus 4. Y equals negative 4. The second value is negative 1. Y equals negative 4 plus 4. So y equals 0. So for this one, I get this one, so it's negative 2, negative 4. It's right there. For this one, I use negative 1. So negative 1, the y is 0. Do I have that here? Yes, it's right there. So the correct answer is D. But once again, if you already have your x's and you don't want to spend more time on this, if you're sure, completely sure, then just double check all your answers and find the ones that have x's, those values. All right, let's move on. Number 6. Oh, yeah. Let's go, Enrique. I love these. Solve the system in 3D. For this one, you're going to need your highlighters. If you have highlighters, get at least 3 different colors, or your pens, 3 different colors to get organized with these. Remember these? Yes? Yes, Enrique, I love these. All right. So the top one I'm going to do in pink or red if you want to underline that. The middle one I'm going to do in green. And the bottom one in blue. Once again, if you don't have highlighters, then use pens. That's fine. Let me zoom in. Solve the system. So here we go. When you get to these, the very first step is that we need to eliminate the one variable from all 3 equations. One variable from all 3. So, look up. We go one variable at a time. So I look at this one, let's see, can I eliminate the x's right now that easy? No, but I would have to eliminate the top x and this x. This has to be negative 2. And the bottom x and that one, this has to be negative 3. So I would need to do some changes. Okay, let's go to y. To eliminate the y's, that means I would need to make this bottom one a negative 3y to cancel this one, and a negative 5 to cancel that one. So we also need to tweak. The last one, this z, in order to eliminate z, this has to be positive 3, and to eliminate the bottom one has to be negative 2. So my question is here is, would it be the same if I eliminate the x's and the z's? Pretty much. Same thing with the y's. So now it's just a matter of you making a decision which one do you want. What I'm going to use, I'm going to eliminate the z's just for the sake of it, being that they're at the end. So since this z doesn't have a number, I'm going to use this pink one for both of these. So I'm going to use the pink one twice, here and here. Once for the green one, and a second time for the blue one. So let's write our pink one. We got 2x plus 3y plus z equals 27. Let's write it again. 2x plus 3y plus z equals 27. The green one is x plus 5y minus 3z equals 52. And the blue one is negative 3x plus y plus 2z equals negative 16. All right. So with that said, look up to the screen. Let's start with the first two. We said we're going to eliminate the z's. Can we eliminate the z's right now? No. What does this one need to be, everyone? The top one. This has to be a what to cancel that one? Let me repeat that again. In order to eliminate the z's, what does this one have to be in order to cancel that one? Tell your neighbor, please. It has to be a what? It has to be a positive 3. So that means we're going to multiply this entire equation times 3. So 3 times 2x, that's 6x. 3 times 3y, that's 9y. 3 times z is positive 3z. And 3 times 27, that's 81. All right, let's leave it like that for right now before we move on to the cancellation. Let's go over here to this one. Look up. To cancel the z's now here on the second pair, what does this z have to be in order to cancel that positive 2z? It has to be a what? Negative 2. So we're going to multiply the top times negative 2. Negative 2 times 2x, that's negative 4x. Negative 2 times 3y, that's negative 6y. Negative 2 times z, that's negative 2z. And negative 2 times 27, that's negative 54. All right, so with that said, we no longer need this one or this one. So we're going to focus on the bottom two. So put a big plus sign right here because we're going to combine stuff. So what is x plus 6x? That's 7x. What is y plus 5y? That's 14y. What is 3z minus 3z? They cancel. And all that equal to 81 plus 52, that's 133. Do the same over here. Put a big plus sign. Combine stuff. Negative 3x and negative 4x, that's negative 7x. Negative 6y and positive 1y, that's negative 5y. 2z minus 2z cancel. And negative 54 and negative 16, that's negative 70. So now that we eliminated the z's, we take these two and make them into a system. 7x plus 14y equals 133. And then the other equation is negative 7x minus 5y equals negative 70. Look at them. Can we eliminate anything at that point? Tell you never, what can we eliminate? Put a big plus sign right there. And we eliminate what, guys? The x's. Yeah, 7x minus 7x. Cancel. Let's combine the rest. 14y minus 5y, that's 9y. 133 minus 70, that's 63. And let's solve for y. Divide by 9, divide by 9. Y equals 7. So now we need to solve for x. Which equation do you want to use? The top one or the bottom one? Bottom, okay. Does it matter? No, just pick one. So we write negative 7x minus 5 parentheses for the y equals negative 70. So for the y, we're going to substitute the number 7. So I end up with negative 7x minus 35 equals negative 70. Let's solve for x. I need to get rid of the negative 35, so I add 35 to both sides. We end up with negative 7x equals negative 35. And to solve for x, I divide by negative 7. X equals 5. So let me zoom out. So where are we at so far, Mr. Q? Well, look up. Our solution for a system of 3 dimensions, we need an x, we need a y, and we need a z. Do we have x already? Yes. Do we have y? Yes. And all we need is what? Z. So question to you, let's go back to the original. Which of the 3 do you want to use so that we can find the z once we substitute those values? Does it matter? No? Which one do you want to use? The top, middle, or the bottom? The bottom? All right, so let's use this one. So write negative 3 parentheses for x plus parentheses for y plus 2z equals negative 16. So for x is 5, for y is 7. All right, so we got, this is negative 15 plus 7 plus 2z equals negative 16. Combine like terms. Negative 15 plus 7, that's negative 5 plus 2z equals negative 16. We need to get rid of the negative 5, so we add 5 to each side, add 5 to each side. Wait, did I make a mistake? Let's see, negative 3, y, 2z, negative 16, negative 15, 7. Oh, the mistake is right here. Sorry, guys. Negative 15 and 7, that gives us what? Negative 8. That was a mistake. That was me. Negative 8. So that means we add 8 to each side, add 8 to each side. So that leaves us with 2z equals negative 8. And last but not least, divide by 2. Z equals negative 4. So this is my solution. And the answer for that one, according to the study guide, the answer should be letter B. Letter B. rocking and rolling. How we doing? Good? All right. Next, let's go to number 7. Number 7. It says solve the system by graphing. By graphing. Let's see, can you see from there? Let me zoom in a little bit more. Okay. Okay. All right, here we go. Let me zoom. Let me scroll up a little bit. All right. For number 7, we have two equations. One is, notice this one does not have an exponent, so this is a line, linear. And this one is a quadratic. So I'm going to start with the second one first. Okay? So, for the second one, it's a quadratic. So what is the parent function for that one? The parent function is f of x equals x squared. So I'm going to start with that one. Do I know how to graph this without a table? Yes? Tell your neighbor, what 5 points do we always use for that? What 5 points? All right. What 5 points do we always use for that, Elijah? -2, 4. -1, 1. 0, 0. 1, 1. 2, 4. Okay. That's my f of x. However, I'm not going to draw it. I'm going to use those 5 points to move it according to this transformation. So tell your neighbor, where am I going to move it according to that? Where shall I move it? All right. Where do I move that to? Let's go with Sebastian. Where do I move it? 3 to the left and 4 down. That is correct. So I'm going to start with this one. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the point of origin, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so for this one, all right, so we got the graph for that one. Now let's go with the graph for this one. For this one, so that you remember, that one comes from y equals mx plus b. M being our slope, and b being our y-intercept. So what is my y-intercept, everyone? 5. So let's start from 5. What is my slope? 2 up and 1 to the right. So we go 1, 2, 1 to the right, plot your point, do it again. 1, 2, 1 to the right, plot your point, do it again. 1, 2, 1 to the right, plot your point, graph your line. So now, notice that we run out of space here, so let's go the other way. 2 down and 1 to the left. 1, 2, 1 to the left, plot your point, do it again. 1, 2, 1 to the left, plot your point, do it again, and do it again, do it again, and do it again. And graph your line. So, for graphs, who remembers what is the solution for two different graphs? Oh, where both graphs intersect. So point to that and point to that. Those are my solutions. That point right here and this point right there. So, what is my coordinate for this one? -4, -3. That's one solution. -4, -3. What's the other solution? This one right here. What is x? 0. What is y? 5. So it's 0, 5. Those are my two solutions. So just remember, when you get to these ones, always start with the quadratic so you can do the transformation, move it, graph it, and then you do the line at the end to see where it intersects the graph, if there's any. And the answer for that one, it looks like it's letter D. Yep, letter D. All right, how we doing? Good? All right, good. Go to number 8. Number 8. It says, write the function that transforms f of x equals x cubed by a vertical stretch of a factor of 2, shift 4 units to the left, and shift 3 units. Let me zoom out for this one. There it is. 4 to the left and 3 units down. So, when you get to this one, look up, draw arrows. 4 to the left, 3 units down. So let's see which of those functions go 4 to the left and 3 units down. So look at them. Tell your neighbor which one goes 4 to the left and 3 units down. 4 to the left, 3 units down. So right away, look up. Is it A or B? No, these are 4 to the right. So it cannot be A and B. It has to be C or D. So 4 units to the left for both. And then 3 units what? Down. So which one goes 3 units down? Letter D. And do you need to worry about the 2? No, the 2 is on all of them. 2, 2, 2, and 2. All right. And I think this next one's going to be our last one. Number 9. Number 9. It says, which is a graph of an even function with a positive leading coefficient? So, before we get there, look up, please. We said, when we got to the graphing portion, look up, please. When I gave you guys f of x equals x, that looks like this. When we got to f of x equals x squared, that looked like this. When we got to f of x equals x cubed, that looked like this. Now, so that you know where we're at, let me show you the coordinate planes. Look up. The coordinate plane for this one is here. For this one is here. For this one is here. And we said, look up, that this is quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the question was this. I said, look up. What do you guys notice with these that are odd exponents? This is an invisible 1. What do you guys notice? That the graph starts where? Graph starts over here. And it ends where? Over here. So those are what? Odds. Any odd function starts at which quadrant? At quadrant 3, and it ends up in quadrant 1. So if I was to give you this, look up f of x equals x to the 5. Where does it start? At quadrant what? 3, and it ends at 1. Why? Because this is an odd exponent. So what does that mean, Mr. Q? That means that the even number exponents always start where? At 2 and end at 1. So when we got to the polynomial functions, if I gave you x to the 8th power, that means it starts where? At 2 and it ends at 1. And these are all positive functions. However, look up. Mario's going to give us an enlightenment. Look up. What if I did a negative for all of these? A negative for all of those. What would it do to the entire function? Tell your neighbor. What does it do to the entire function? Mario. It flips it. That is correct. So if we go to the problem at hand, here it goes. It says, which is the graph of an even with a positive coefficient? That means it's a positive even. That means it starts at what quadrant, everyone? Quadrant 2. So let's see, which one start at quadrant 2? Let's see, does this one start at 2 right here? No, so it can't be that one. Does this one start at 2? Yes. But it ends at 4. That means it's not a positive, it's a what? Negative. So it can't be that one. How about this one? Starts at 2 and it ends at what? At 1. So answer B. Why not this one? Because this one's over here at 3 and 4. That means it's flipped, so it's a negative. Alright? So, tonight's home plate. Go through numbers 1 through 9 again by yourself. Once again, try not to look at the answers. Go through the problem itself. See if you can replicate what we did. Tomorrow we continue with the rest. Those of you following on YouTube, make sure you get the Nearpod code from earlier. You have access to the study guide. Enjoy. Peace.